Hi everyone, welcome back to the Honey Wool Wonders knitting channel. My name's Honey and I am back with a project update video today. It's been I think 5 weeks since my last video, and that's a bit overdue, at least for my own timing, because I usually try to keep it around 3 weeks, otherwise it's going to be a super long video and there's so much to talk about. But I was away for 2 weeks and then I ended up with like the worst jet lag and I got busy at work. So yeah, all of that to just say there's a lot to talk about today. I have 3 finished objects, I have 3 whips, and I also bought some new yarn that I've already used that in one of my whips, so I'm going to talk about all of that. All right, let's just jump right into it. I know I was complaining about the warm weather in Melbourne in my previous video and I wasn't able to wear any of my knits, but now it's winter here, it's super cold. Now I can wear all of my knits. It was only about it was towards end of winter last year that I started knitting, so I honestly didn't even get time to wear any of my knits. But now I have like a lot of knits and sweaters that I can just wear and enjoy the cold weather, and I'm super excited. Okay, let's start with the first finished object, which is a small one. But that is my scarf number 4 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And oh my god, guys, I can't love this anymore. This is such a lightweight, tiny scarf that is just the right amount of warmth that you need just around your neck. And I use the dreamiest yarn for this. I use the recommended yarn actually. So this is a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear, by the way. I use 3.5mm needle and I use the Cardiff Classic Cashmere, which was the recommended yarn as well. So she calls for 2 balls of that, and I did have 2 balls of Cardiff Classic Cashmere that I bought last year for Christmas. So yeah, I ended up knitting this, and I actually started this on my way on the plane. So I just cast on this on the plane. I got half of this finish on the way there, and then I finished the rest on my way back. So it was sort of a cute and little project to have on the go. It was perfect for the plane, didn't take that much of space, and oh my god, this yarn is so soft. I know there's so much hypes around this yarn, and I have to say it's all true. Like, I felt like I don't want to knit anything other than cashmere after this one. I've never used cashmere before. This was my first time using this yarn or any sort of cashmere. I know there's so many other brands out there, but this was absolutely beautiful. I know it's a bit pricey, but since this was only like 2 balls, it wasn't too bad. I really want to knit this, or maybe other scarves, but just use this yarn, because when you wrap it around your neck, it's super cozy and warm. Oh my god, I love it. It was such a pleasure to knit this. So a bit about the pattern. This is, I think, just the usual scarf construction. This was my first like mini scarf pattern that I knit, but basically you just cast them from this end and then you keep doing some increases until you reach to almost like when you finish the first ball, but there's still a bit left. I still have like that much left. I think that's like around 2 grams or even less. But yeah, you do some increases every few rows, and then you start the decreases, and then you just cast off. And the edge is so beautiful as well. It's sort of this slip stitch edge, which is beautiful. The pattern was very mindless. You only had to keep track of the rows, just where you have to make an increase or a decrease, but it was pretty straightforward. So basically there's these like garter stitch rows, and then in between those you've got a few rows of ribbing, and I love this. I've already worn it a few times. I even wear it at home sometimes when I feel a bit cold, because it's just super lightweight. You can just grab it and throw it on and just feel cozy. So yeah, I'm already thinking of like buying other colors, maybe from the same brand, or if I can try other cashmere from like other brands. I would love to have more scarves, and I know like the practicality of this, I already know it's going to be super useful because I've worn it. Like, this got finished since I came back and I've been wearing it a lot. So I know I'm going to make a lot of use out of it, and I love it. It's such a mindless pattern to just have on the go, and I want more. So I'm thinking like other patterns or other like designs, or maybe the same one. I'm not too fussed about the design as long as the yarn is like, you know, like nice enough that you want to wrap it around your neck. And I'm thinking of like more bright colors for my next one, but I love it. My next finished object is what I'm wearing. This is the Agnes Cardigan. It's a design by Sandnes Garn. I did have a bit of a trouble to get my hands on this yarn, but I finally found a place that do sell both the yarn and the pattern in Australia. It's a very oversized, boxy look cardigan. It has a very beautiful shoulder, like a thick shoulder seam. I love that detail. And then it's a bit longer than my usual pieces. I usually try to knit things a bit cropped, but this one I did want to achieve the exact same look in the design. So it's a bit longer than usual for me, but I wanted that, and I'm so happy with how it turned out. I knitted this in the second size, and I think I would have been okay with the first size still. This gives me around 35 centimeters of positive ease, which is quite a lot, and I'm happy with that because I do love all the size pieces. But I think first size would still be okay, but that's all right. And then what else? It has a very thick double knitting bottom band, and it has you to cast on 28 stitches. So it's a super thick one, and I thought that's too much. So I reduced that number to 20 stitches. This is already too thick. So I'm sort of like happy that I did make that modification, and it took me forever. I think this, so it's like all over the front and the neck. Honestly, I felt like it's never gonna end, and I got a bit tired because it's not too easy on the hands. So the whole cardigan is knit up on a 4mm needle. The double knitting bottom band is knit up on 3mm. So you just size down one whole needle size to get a bit of like a better gauge, which is the usual case for all double knitted bottom bands. But it took forever, and since it was too wide, it was just like, ugh. I did take this with me on the trip as well because I was already on the bottom band. So last time that I showed this, I finished, I think I had the body finished, and I thought it's going to be like a super quick, you know, like there's not much left, but there was a lot left. Like the bottom band took me so long. And then I used that technique where you don't cut your yarn for the buttonholes, and it turned out very neat. This is my third time doing a double knitted bottom band, but the first two times I did use that where you cut the yarn and there's so many ends to weave in, and it looks a bit like, I don't know, wonky, but this was very nice. This is like a super neat bottom band, and I love it. The technique that I used, I did hear a lot of people talking about this technique that I think Florence by Miller has it in her cardigan tutorial on her channel. Petiteknit also has it, I think, for one of her cardigans. I think it's the Jenny jacket. I don't know. I'll try to put the links that I used in the description of the video. It's a very nice way of like trying to, you know, like avoid all of those like loose ends. And the final look actually looks way better. Okay, I didn't actually say what yarn I used. I did use the recommended yarn for this pattern, which is the Sandnes Garn Tynn Peer Gynt in the color dark chocolate. And I held it with the Tynn Silk Mohair by Sandnes Garn in the same shade, so both dark chocolate. The Tynn Peer Gynt is such a lovely yarn. I know there's really no need for me to talk about this yarn, but I've heard a lot of people might not like the feel. They find it a bit, I don't know, like itchy maybe, but I've got no issues. I love it. I think this is sort of my favorite yarn combination and also gauge, like these two on a 4mm needle. The fabric is amazing. Like, I cannot talk enough about this, like how beautiful the stitch definition is, how nice it's like in between It's not too soft, like a merino soft feel, but it's not too woolly either. It's just the perfect balance for me. I think this is the favorite combination of mine, and I know I'm gonna use this combo heaps in my future projects. And the color, it's gorgeous. Like it's exactly like chocolatey brown, and I love it. And I don't know if it goes well with my skin tone, but I love brown color, and I just love it. I don't even care if it doesn't go well, but I think it suits me. And yeah, I've been wearing it. This was finished last week, and I've been wearing it a lot, even around the house. But as you can see, there's no buttons on this still. I'm having some trouble finding buttons. I did buy a few yesterday from a local, it's like a craft store, but I don't really like how it looks. I'm gonna return them. I'm gonna show how they look. I don't have it here, but I do want to go with a bit of like a darker color, like something very close to this one. So like a dark chocolate, maybe wooden buttons. I don't know where to buy nice buttons really, so I'm still looking for it, and I really want something really nice. I don't want to get something just to have buttons on this. And it looks still okay without like having buttons, so I'm gonna use it until I find the best ones. The sleeve construction was a bit interesting because first time seeing this construction. So you know how you usually do decreases very close to the beginning of the round like stitch? So it all sits, the decreases all sit under the arm or the sleeve. But this had you to do the decreases a bit further away from the bottom edge of the sleeve. So there's like around 30 or 32 stitches between the decreases that you make on each side, and it creates this beautiful shape. I love that detail, and it gets the sleeves to sit a bit like sort of balloony shape, but not in a drastic way. And it has twisted rib both for the cuffs and the hem. Okay, let's go to the third finish object, which is still wet. I only blocked this last night and it's lying flat, but I'm going to quickly bring it and show it to you. But I'm not going to leave it up for so long because it's going to ruin the whole look. But hopefully by the time that I'm editing this video, it's like all dried and I'm wearing it so you can see how it looks. But let me grab it. Okay, last finish object is the Cloud Sweater by Petiteknit. This was, again, I think I was done with the body sort of like in the last episode, so I had only the sleeves to go. And oh my god, guys, look at this color. It smells like sheep, like really sheepy. Let me put it back. It just freaks me out to hold it like this. I was really hoping that it's gonna dry for today, but that was a bit of a delusional thought because it's super cold here and I'm just lying it flat in front of the heater as well, but it's still really wet because it's super thick. So I don't have any left, but I'm gonna show like a photo of it. I used the Isager Soft yarn and I held it with the Isager Silk Mohair in the shade, I think the Mohair was 11 and the Soft was 10. And that's how much I've got left. So, oops. I sort of like used up most of it, which is nice. And yeah, this is a very known pattern by Petiteknit. I know a lot of people have knitted this and it was sort of like a design that it never really caught my eyes in the beginning. And then suddenly I was like, how can I not own this sweater? And it was the yarn as well, because I do have another sweater used this in the same yarn and I love it and I've worn it so much. So I thought I don't mind to have another sweater in the same fabric. And yeah, it's such a warm and cozy yarn. I know I'm gonna be living in this throughout the winter. It's so soft. And the color turned out so beautiful. So they're not an exact match, as you can see. So there's a bit of like a mold effect. The Isager Soft, even like by itself, it's got this very like white, I think it's a cotton cord, and then there's like alpaca threads like coming out of it with like blue color. Yeah, the construction, again, drop down, top down, drop shoulder. It creates the shoulder seams with short rows, and it's such an easy, mindless pattern. You knit up the whole thing in a 4mm needle, like the ribbing, the neckline, the cuffs, everything. So you just need one single needle size. And then there's no Italian bind off. Everything's just like cast off, standard way. It's super beautiful. I love it, and it's such a basic sweater, and I'm really happy that it's finished. I did put this on like a bit of a hold when I went away, and then I did have a bit of trouble with the sleeve length. So I'm usually totally like okay lengthwise with Petiteknit patterns. So whatever she recommends in her patterns, like in different designs, I'm usually very close to it. So with this one, I was also trusting the patterns. I didn't really try it on as I was knitting it. And then when I finished the first sleeve, my sleeves were like super long. Like I'm okay with long sleeves too, but this was like way longer than I like. But I was lazy. I was like, it's all right. And I know this yarn actually shrinks a little bit when you block it. So I was like, okay, maybe after I blocked it, if it still was too long, I'm gonna rip back. But when I started the second sleeve, I was running out of mohair again. So I had to rip back the first sleeve, adjust the length, and redo the first sleeve and adjust the second sleeve. So I think I ended up with one less decrease repeat for the sleeves. Okay, so that was all my finished objects. And now let's start with my work in progress. Okay, one of my work in progress, which I'm gonna talk about second, there's a bit of an issue and I'm a bit sad, but I'll get to that. Let's start with the happy one. Oh my god, guys, look at this. This is the Maggie Cardigan by Petiteknit, and I'm knitting it in this beautiful red color. There's still a lot to go. I only separated the sleeves and the body last night, so that's like, it's not even a centimeter. But I know from now on the increases are done. This was a very interesting construction again for me. First time knitting this sort of like construction. So it's a top down sweater, the cardigan, as you can see, and then it has sort of like a contiguous shoulder construction with sort of like a set-in sleeve look. So you start this very cute and little increases for the shoulders, and then you sort of like put everything on hold, and then you pick up stitches along this section, and then you start and then from that on it sort of looks like a raglan construction. So you make increases on the side of the sleeve and it creates this beautiful look. I think this is going to fit me really well, and I'm very keen to see how it looks on me because, as I said, first time knitting this construction, and I really like how the fit looks on herself on the photos. So yeah, I'm very keen to finish this. I know there's still a lot to go, and this is knit up on a 3.5mm needle, so it takes a while. It's a very tight and tiny gauge, and the yarn that I use is this beautiful new to me yarn. So first time using this yarn. It's the Majo yarn in the Tweed Supreme for the base, and the same brand for the Mohair. The base is in the color ruby. So this is it's 100% superfine merino wool, and the mohair is in the color cherry. This is such a beautiful yarn. I did talk about this in my previous video. The tweed for the yarn is very subtle. Like you honestly can't see that much. I don't even know if this is like a tweed color, but I don't mind it because I don't like super busy tweedy color like yarn, at least not for this sort of a pattern. So I do like that gentleness. The mohair is very beautiful, and I find it really soft as well. It's honestly like, maybe it's very similar to knitting for olive. I still find the Isager mohair like the softest. But yeah, I'm very enjoying the yarn. I'm very enjoying the construction. I know from now on it's going to be a bit more mindless. As I said, I'm done with the increases, so now I have to knit up on the body, and I'm knitting this in the second size. I was planning to knit this in the first size, But everything is knit up exactly the same up until you decide to separate the sleeves and the body. And then I suddenly thought, okay, I'm gonna go up to the second size just to be safe. I don't like a very snug and fitted cardigan, and I didn't want to have a super over. This is not an oversized cardigan at all. So even the second size is going to give me around 8 to 10 centimeters of positive ease, which is good. I can still wear like a, I don't know, like a tee under it. But yeah, so I've got the body to go, and then the sleeves, and then I'm thinking to do a double knitted bottom band for this one. The pattern itself is like has a ribbed bottom band. That look still looks okay. So I'm happy with the actual look of the ribbed bottom band. And I know I might need more yarn for the double knitted if I'll decide to do it. I don't know. I think I'll decide once I reach to the point. If I end up with enough yarn, I might do that modification, but if not, I'm happy to do the ribbed one. So yeah, super keen to finish this. The yarn, as I said, super beautiful. It's not as soft as knitting for olive merino. It's a bit more like rusticy feel to it, which I do prefer more. I think I do. But I need to see how it wears up. You know, like all of these yarns, I don't know if they're gonna wear up nicely or not. I can only know after a few times, or at least a year when I wear them. Okay, now let's get to the color work in progress, which I'm having some issues with. Okay, this is my Northern Augustins number 7. It's my first real color work attempt. It's so gorgeous, guys. I'm gonna first talk about like the happy bits about this piece. So I did a mid-project block for this one. All right, let me first tell you what yarn I'm using if you don't know, like in case you don't know, because I've talked about this in my previous video, but I'm using the Derirum Natura Ulis in the color Quartz and Doré. So Quartz is this pink one, Doré is this sort of like mustardy yellow. This is a sport weight yarn. This pattern calls for a DK weight yarn, but I managed to meet gauge, so I'm okay with that. And the yarn is super nice. It's very squishy, very like puffy as well. And when I blocked it, it turned out very beautiful. So, okay, let me take it off the hook because this is my first time. This is a round yoke construction, by the way, as most of the color work sweaters are. But I don't know if this is, okay, I'll get to that point later. But basically, there's like 3 charts for the whole pattern. The first chart is for the yoke. I finished the first chart, and after that, I put everything on hold. I did a mid-project block. And then I only started how can I show this? This is really hard. I only started the body, like only like few rounds really. And so the sleeves are separated now. Now I need to knit the body, which has its own chart, and then I do the sleeves. But I have issues with the neckband. Guys, this is so wide and loose, and I don't know why it turned out like this. I did modify the neckband, by the way. She has you to do like a Judy magic cast on or something, and I felt like that's too complicated. I've never done that before. The pattern's not that detailed even, so I was like, I'm gonna do my usual double folded ribbed neckband. And I did see this on other people's notes on Ravelry. I know a lot of people did that, so I thought it's going to be okay. And I'm not sure if that's what caused this. I don't think so. But anyways, and I did also add some short rows. So this pattern doesn't have short rows. I did add some short rows. So as you can see, the back is sitting a little bit higher than the front. It's not that much, it's just like 4 centimeters. I'm really happy with the tension of my color work. I know it could have been a bit better, but I'm not too fussed. This is my first color work practice, and honestly, it's not too hard. So the tension is even getting better as I go along. The way that I'm knitting this is like I knit the contrast color like continental, and then the main color, which is this pink one, English style. So I'm using 2 hands for this, and I really love that rhythm. It gives me the best tension, best like pace. It's really nice. So I'm getting my head around like color work knitting, but the neck, yeah, like no way I might wear it actually and show you how it looks, but it's really bad. Like I tried even like elastic thread to fix it, but it's like, it's a bit more than that. I can't just fix it with a elastic thread. This needs to be re-knitted. And since it starts from the neck, I don't want to rip this thing, like the whole thing. So I might need to do a bit of a knit surgery. So I've already like inserted a needle there. I don't know if you can see, but I have a needle inserted just below the neckline. And it's a bit tricky because I have short rows, and then right after you finish the neck, there's like a lot of increases to get you to the right amount of stitches that you need to start the yoke. I've never done any like cutting your knit pieces before, so this is really making me anxious. And as you can see, I've already done that step, and then I did see a few videos, but the issue with this one is since it's double folded neckband, so the top of the sweater and then when you start the yoke, they're all knitted together in like the inside of the neck. So that even makes it a bit harder to cut the neck. I did a bit of a practice on just some scrap yarn that I had. So I made like a double folded, just a very short one, double folded neckband, did a bit of like increases, and then I tried to cut the ribbing of the neck. It didn't go that well. I was able to like keep the stitches on the needle, but it wasn't a smooth surgery. There was like, it was a bit of like a struggle, and I really don't want to mess this up. So there's two things I can do. You guys can either help me to find a way, because honestly, I don't know. I'm not that experienced in knitting, and it actually shows up in this sort of scenarios where you need to fix something this drastic. It's not like an easy fix. So I would really appreciate if you guys know a way or can point me to a way or some videos that I try to find double folded neckbands knit surgery, but they're all like just single layers, and that's totally fine. I know that's not too complicated, but this one's a bit tricky to get the yarn off the neck and onto the needle without missing the whole thing. And I've actually put this on hold. And I haven't knitted on this. I wanted to share this here and see if there's any not easy, or even just a way for me to fix this without messing the whole thing. And if there is, I can hear it from you guys. If there's no way, I'm still okay to rip the whole thing back. I'm fine. I'm happy to do that, but I'd rather not. This is a fair amount of hours I've put into to get to this point of the yoke. Let me know if there's a way, if you know a way for me to fix this, and if there's not, let me know again. I'm gonna try to do the surgery either way. I'm gonna attempt doing that to see if I can fix it. Like worst case, I'm gonna mess up the whole thing and then I can rip it back. But yeah, I don't know. That makes me a bit sad because I was having so much fun knitting this whole thing, and I was like to a point that I was ready to do the body, and then I tried it on and I was like, what the heck is going on with the neck? Why is it too? I still don't know what's going on with the neck. So what I have to do is basically knit the neck, and this is knit up on a 4mm. The neck is knit up on a 3.5mm needle. So I probably need to go down to 3mm or even a 2.75 or 2.5. I don't know. This looks so super loose. So I need to reduce my needle size hugely to get it to the fit that I want. And I still don't know how this happened. It might be the yarn because it's not too bouncy. It might be the different method that I tried to knit the neckband. But anyways, it looks beautiful. I love how the colors are coming together. I'm really happy with my color choices. I'm just enjoying color work knitting, and I'm already thinking of my next pattern that I want to start, as in like color work after this one. So I'm not too sad, and I have no rush like finishing this. This is a project that I want it to turn out perfect, like close to perfect as possible. I'm trying to approach it with a bit of love, even with this issue that I face, and I know I'm gonna fix it. I know there's gonna be a way for this to be fixed, but if not, I'm happy to rip it back and do this again. Did I even say who's the designer? This is the Northern Augustins No. 7 by Anne-Sophie Velling. So she's the designer behind this. She's got so many beautiful color work designs. She recently released a book called Stunned, I think. And oh my God, all of her designs are just so beautiful. I don't think she's got it in English yet. I'm sort of like waiting to see if she's going to translate it, or if not, I think you can still manage to get it translated yourself. But it's such a beautiful book, and all of the designs in the book are just stunning. Okay, that was the drama around my color work whip. I've got a very small whip to share before we go, and that is this very tiny piece. So there's not much going on here, but I'm going to start with the yarn for this one, because this will also be my yarn acquisition. I only bought this yesterday. This is this beautiful yarn called Chuska Pore. This is made in Peru, and it's a 60% merino wool and 40% super kid mohair. And look at that fuzz, guys. It's super, super nice. It's a very light DK weight yarn, and the logo of this yarn is just everything. I think I'm gonna use that to make like a bookmark or something, but it's such a lovely yarn. I've never heard of this yarn. I've never used this yarn. It was super new. I just saw it in a yarn shop that I visited yesterday for the first time. It's called the Maker store, I think. And they had this yarn. They had it in sort of like a blown version yarn. They had it in this beautiful DK yarn. And this is like a combo of mohair and merino, so you don't have to hold it with a mohair. And as I said, this is a light DK. It's very close to fingering. I don't like black. I don't own a single black piece in my wardrobe. I love how it looks on other people when they wear black pieces, but it never goes well with me. And I just don't like the color. It just makes me sad. I don't know why. So this is not for me. This is a knit for my sister, not the one that I made the Pride and Pearls cardigan. I think she's good for another few years for receiving a gift from me, because that took me so long. But this is for the other sister. And this is going to be the sweater number 28 by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I only started this last night, so I just finished the neck. This is a very beautiful sweater, guys. If you haven't knitted this, I highly recommend it. It goes by super fast. I knitted mine in the Isager Soft, and I absolutely love it. I worn it the most, I think the most worn piece that I own. And she really likes the look, and she did ask me if I can make one for her in a black color. She's the total opposite. Like 99% of her clothes are black. She just loves black, and honestly it suits her very well, so that's fair. But it's not too fun to knit in a black color. I really struggle with like the stitches to see exactly what I'm doing. This is a bit of an open gauge, so this is knit up on a 4mm needle, but she didn't want something super hot and warm, and that's why I chose this yarn. I think the gauge is okay. I was a bit like hesitant to size down a needle and try 3.5, but that might make it a bit too thick. I still don't know. Do you think it's too airy? It is a bit too gapey. I didn't make a gauge swatch. I probably should have done. I can actually do a measure on this one and use this as my gauge. Yeah, I'll probably do that. If I'm on gauge, I'll leave it, because the actual pattern itself looks a bit very like loose and drapey and gapey as well. So if it's on gauge, I'll keep it. If not, I'll probably, because there's really not much knitted there. This was like 30 minutes of knitting, and then I can size down to 3.5. But this yarn is super nice. I'm happy that I'm like trying it. I'm really keen to see how the final sweater looks in a totally different yarn. And they had so many other beautiful colors. They had this very gorgeous green and pink and red. Oh my God, so beautiful. It was really hard not to buy any other colors for myself. I think that's it. That's all I had for this video. I hope it's not going to be a super long one, but there was so much to catch you guys up on. It was really nice to be back and chat about my knits. I really miss doing this. There were so many new people like after my last video that joined my channel. I'm so happy that you guys are here. Thanks again for all your support, guys. Whatever you do, any likes, comments, and joining my channel, they all just make my day, and I really appreciate it. There's going to be a June edition of my like next cast on video. I've got so many things that I'm planning on making, and I want that video to come out not too long after this one. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. Other than that, you can also find me on Instagram under the same like handle, Honey Wool Wonders, also on Ravelry. Everything's going to be linked in the description. And that's it. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Happy knitting, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.